In a galaxy 13.4 billion light-years away, JWST found nitrogen levels that shouldn't exist for another billion years, like finding a skyscraper in a world where humans just invented fire. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this single element is forcing astronomers to rewrite the rules of how the universe builds atoms, what backwards chemistry actually means, and the three radical theories that might explain how the cosmos cheated its own timeline. Here's what we thought we knew. After the Big Bang, the universe was basically just hydrogen and helium, boring, simple atoms. Then the first stars ignited, and over billions of years, they forged heavier elements through nuclear fusion. Oxygen came first in massive quantities, then carbon. Nitrogen took longer because it requires a specific process called the CNO cycle, which needs existing carbon and oxygen as catalysts. Think of it like cooking. You can't make a complex sauce until you've made the basic stock first. The universe should work the same way, simple ingredients before complex ones. In the Milky Way, it took 1 to 2 billion years for the nitrogen-to-oxygen ratio to reach mature levels. That's not a guess. That's based on decades of spectroscopic data from thousands of stars at different ages in our galaxy. So when astronomers pointed JWST at a galaxy called Z11, sitting at redshift 10.6, meaning we're seeing it as it existed just 400 million years after the Big Bang, they expected to find baby chemistry. Lots of oxygen, minimal nitrogen, the elemental equivalent of a newborn. But here's where everything breaks. Beat, half-second pause. Z11's nitrogen-to-oxygen ratio is 4 times higher than galaxies of similar age should have. 4 times. That's not a rounding error. That's not instrument noise. The data from Bunker and Cameron's teams in 2023 confirmed it multiple times. Imagine finding a medieval castle with modern steel beams inside. The structure exists. You can measure it, but the timeline of how it got there makes no sense. And Z11 isn't alone. The JADE survey found similar anomalies in GS. Z12-0 at redshift 12.5, one of the most distant galaxies ever confirmed. Maialino's team in 2024 documented iron and nitrogen abundances that suggest enrichment processes requiring over 1 billion years of stellar evolution. But these galaxies existed when the universe was only 300 to 500 million years old. The chemistry is running out of order. Heavy elements that should come late in the cosmic recipe are showing up impossibly early. It's like the universe skipped chapters in its own instruction manual. Astronomers call this the cosmic metal budget problem. And right now, the early universe is spending money it shouldn't have yet. So either our telescopes are lying or our physics is incomplete. Spoiler, JWST's instruments are working perfectly. The James Webb Space Telescope's NIR spec can detect emission lines from nitrogen, oxygen, carbon, and neon in galaxies over 13 billion light-years away. These aren't fuzzy estimates. They're atomic fingerprints. Every element absorbs and emits light at specific wavelengths, and JWST reads those signatures with precision that would have been science fiction 15 years ago. The data is solid, which means the problem is our models. Let's break down the 3 leading explanations for how the early universe might have cheated chemistry. Theory 1. Supermassive stars. Charbonnel's team proposed in 2023 that the first generation of stars might have included monsters, stellar objects exceeding 100 solar masses, possibly reaching 1,000 solar masses or more. These behemoths would burn through their fuel in just 2 to 3 million years, then explode and scatter heavy elements across their galaxies at rates our standard models don't account for. Wolf-Rayet stars, a known class of massive, rapidly evolving stars, produce enormous nitrogen yields through intense stellar winds. If the early universe had more of these than we thought, the nitrogen mystery starts to make sense. But there's a catch. To produce the observed nitrogen levels, you'd need stellar populations dominated by these giants. And we don't yet have direct evidence that such populations existed at the required scale. Theory 2. Direct collapse black holes. Inuyashi's 2022 research proposed something radical. What if the enrichment isn't coming primarily from stars at all? Direct collapse black holes form when massive gas clouds skip the star phase entirely and collapse straight into black holes of 10,000 to 100,000 solar masses. The accretion disks around these objects reach temperatures and pressures that could drive nucleosynthesis through completely different pathways than stellar fusion. This would mean the early universe had 2 parallel chemistry engines, stars doing their slow, methodical element building, and black holes running a fast-track enrichment program on the side. We know supermassive black holes existed surprisingly early. JWST has confirmed that too. If their formation process also produced heavy elements, the timeline starts to reconcile. Theory 3. We've misunderstood population 3 stars entirely. The first generation of stars, population 3, formed from pure hydrogen and helium with 0 heavier elements. We've never directly observed one. Everything we think we know about them comes from simulations. The JWST team found that Z12 zero's chemical signatures don't match simple population 3 enrichment models. The ratios are wrong. The abundances are wrong. Either these primordial stars behaved very differently than our simulations predict, or something else entirely was seeding these galaxies with metals. Some researchers are now suggesting population 3 stars might have had binary companions, dramatically altering their evolution and element production. Others think they might have formed in denser clusters than expected, allowing their enriched material to mix more efficiently. Here's what makes this genuinely exciting rather than just confusing. Every heavy element in your body, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the nitrogen in your DNA, was forged in stellar processes. Understanding how the universe builds elements isn't abstract physics. It's the origin story of everything you're made of. And right now, JWST is showing us that story might have multiple authors we didn't know about. The standard model of cosmic chemical evolution isn't wrong. It works beautifully for the last 12 billion years. But in that first half billion years, something else was happening. Something faster. Something we're only now glimpsing. Z11 isn't a broken galaxy. It's a message from an era we barely understand, written in nitrogen and iron and carbon, telling us the early universe was wilder than we imagined. The chemistry isn't actually running backwards. It's running by rules we haven't fully discovered yet. And this is just the beginning. JWST has years of observations ahead. Every high redshift galaxy it studies adds data points to this mystery. The lab survey found at least 6 massive, chemically mature galaxies that shouldn't exist. There are probably hundreds more waiting to be analyzed. Within the next 2 to 3 years, we'll have enough spectra from enough early galaxies to start building new models. Ones that account for supermassive stars, direct collapse black holes, and whatever else the young universe was doing to fast-track chemistry. The periodic table didn't fill in slowly and steadily. In some corners of the early cosmos, it filled in fast and chaotic through processes we're only beginning to understand. That galaxy 13.4 billion light-years away, with its impossible nitrogen, isn't an anomaly to explain away. It's a window into physics we haven't written down yet. And JWST just handed us the key. If your brain enjoyed being broken by backwards chemistry, subscribe, because next week we're covering the black hole that's growing faster than physics says is possible. Same telescope, same impossible universe. I'll see you there.